Hey guys, Lance from the MTG Lance channel doing the weekly vlogs as usual. If you know I'm wearing this, if you don't know what this is my team, my soccer team. So, this is the vlog. I do weekly vlogs if you're just tuning in. I hit 33 subscribers yesterday, I believe, or sometime soon. But I just hit 1,000 views. It's a big deal. Just hit 1,000. I mean, to me, it's a big deal. For bigger YouTubers, it's like, oh, I got another 1,000 views. No big deal. But for me, just starting off as a small YouTuber, hitting 33 subscribers and hitting that 1,000 view mark is very, very amazing for me. And I would like to do a Q&A with you guys. So comment down below of all the questions you want to know, and you can ask as many as you want. And there's no restrictions for each person. You can have 8 questions you have, whatever. Favorite deck, worst deck, anything to do with Magic, anything for me just in general. What's my favorite card? What do I do in my spare time? What vehicle do I have? Other stuff like that. Just anything. Ask me the questions you want. Also, think about Standard. I like Standard. I'm going to talk about a little bit about the other formats and what I think about them. Legacy, never played. Vintage, haven't played either. Legacy looks a lot more complicated and a lot more expensive than anything. And it looks just crazy combinations of weird stuff. One of my favorites is Modern, and the reason why I say that is it includes so many wide variety of sets. It lets you play so much. And it just narrows it down compared to Legacy, but it's still open. And this is very good for people who've been playing for a while, but not forever. And people who are starting recently, you're probably just going to be playing Standard. When I first started, it didn't matter what deck I played against whoever, because at the time the cards I had were in Standard. Now that because of the rotations and everything, you start playing the game for about over a year or so, rotations start to happen and you start realizing what this means to the game and the meta and to what cards you have. The thing is sometimes the price will drop due to the fact that they're moving out of Standard. They only will see, some cards are only good in Standard. Some cards will only be played in Standard and the price will go down because of that. Or just because the deck, like Nightveil Spectre, used to be a very, very cheap rare because no one really saw the potential in it until Devotion. The price went up, but I really don't see this hitting any modern play. Yes, it's a 3-drop, and it's a 3/4/3/3 flyer. It's still the mana cost lowers it down to, like, Dimir and other stuff that's playing blue-black. And a lot of blue-black decks, or things that have blue-black, green, all those other type of decks, don't usually want what Nightveil Spectre has. The Devotion decks love him because the Devotion goes insane. So that is why it's at like a $13 card right now, is because of the Standard format. Now, cards like Shock Lands, Dual Lands, those will be good in almost all the sets. Or all the formats. And the reason why I say that is because it gives you mana correction, and you get to choose whether it comes in tapped or not. And if you're playing a blue-white, which I will be creating a tech of online of showing what I want to do for the next format, because blue-white heroic looks really fun, or just mono-white heroic, or mono-white something, because just white's packed with crazy stuff, but blue just kind of pushes it over. But talking about dual lands and all that stuff is, they work because some people don't understand how good they are until you start playing with them and then without them. Usually you start playing without them, you play Guild Gates in there to fix your mana and help you out, and that's when you start knowing a little bit more. But then when you get your Shock Lands and your Dual Lands, you realize how good they are, because if you're only playing blue-white and you have the Dual Lands, it's going to come in and let you tap for whatever. And this lets you play another blue or play another white instead of playing another blue where you just need white mana. This lets you have options, and it lets you manipulate and be not consecutive, what's the word? Consistent. Let you keep going and do what you need to do. So that's what I think about the formats. Standard's always fun. It's always a fun, interesting way. But if you're going to invest in something, really invest in a deck, I don't want to say Standard, because Standard, the rotation goes out so quickly. A deck's only going to last a little while because some of the cards may be in what's about to go out. Like Return of Ravnica. My blue-white heroic deck's going to have 2 Supreme Verdicts, and I have reasons for this. So don't be like, why run an heroic deck? It's a long story, but I'll explain it when I build the deck. I'm still thinking about it and coming up with the ideas. But it moves out. So when it moves out, it will downgrade what I have in the deck, and maybe other stuff will come out that improves it, or it may just kind of just not work anymore because the card moved out of standard. When Restoration Angel and Augur of Bolas, Thoughtseize, no, I just had it. Snapcaster Mage moved out, and it kind of hurt some of the more control decks because you can't like blink and flashback stuff, which Snapcaster did really well. And Snapcaster is one of those cards that will last in other formats because of what it does. It lets you bring back an instant or sorcery. So you mean those modern control decks, those blue, white, red, the USA control decks, get an extra bonus of being able to bring back the spells they already used to hurt you even more. Oh, guess what? You're gonna play that thing. You only have a few mana open. I'll Snapcaster back my Mana Leak. Pay 3. You don't have the 3? Oh, guess what? I just countered it. And guess what? I got a creature on the board. Same thing with Vendilion Clique, Restoration Angel. All so good cards. Aetherling actually was always kind of an up there price, but it was never really like huge in among play. You really didn't see it until recently in certain Esper and Control matchups. It really didn't get high play. It was kind of a sleeper. I mean, the price of it was up. People knew it was good, but no one was actually ever really playing it that much. So it was kind of a sleeper card, kind of not. So I just ranted about formats, but you know, what else can you expect me to do? I mean, I have like a list of things over there. Also, I wanted I had somebody ask me, so one of you guys know, that what to do to become better at playing Magic. And this is very, very optional. People have different ways of saying this. I say look at the basics, read the rule, like just start from the get-go. Just basic, look at the basic rulings, figure out the rules immediately of the game, and then figure out other stuff from there. So you just start from the basics and the basic rulings. It helps you learn more about the game and all that. You also want to know everything about the stack, priority, and other stuff like end phase, beginning phase, like combat, all those phases. You want to know what all those do. You want to know what the stack does. You want to know what the priority does, because trust me, priority is very interesting. One thing often people forget, and I've forgotten, is priority on Planeswalkers. When Planeswalker comes into play, the loyalty counter can be put up before they even have a chance to do anything. So if something starts with 3 loyalty and they go to shop, well, it starts with 2 loyalty, let's say, and goes to use shop, which does 2 damage to target creature or player, you can bump up the loyalty counter by 1 if it has that, and then it will be out of range of the 2 damage. Yes, it'll still get 2 damage, but it'll be alive still and also be a good Planeswalker. So just learn your basics first. I mean, it really helps. Also, a good way of doing it, and I'm looking over because I'm actually looking at a video right now, is watching Grand Prix and Pro Tours. Watch what the Pro Tours do, and how they play them, and why the decks work. First off, you want to know what your meta is. What are you going up against? That really chooses the deck. It really shows what's top tier and what's lower tier. Some decks are really good. I'm not saying Blue-White Heroic is going to be the best deck there is. It's probably going to be a rogue deck. It's probably going to be top tier, not top tier, second tier. The reason why I say that is because of the meta. Depending on the format, some things are better than others. Control may be strong in some format, but this format is not really extremely strong. So the meta, you're not going to be worrying about control. So you're not going to try to go aggro or another control deck. You kind of look at different things. There's a lot of, what's the meta, what's being played, what's not being played, and why are they playing it if they are, and why not if they're not. Some cards, they're just not good. I mean, some cards are just not good. Other cards are really kind of on the line. You wonder why aren't they playing them? And it's usually because they got a better choice, and they usually have reasons for it. Watch the interviews. They usually talk about why or why not cards are played. Watch the Grand Prix and the Pro Tours and watch how they play and why they play that way. Everyone makes, especially them. I mean, just watch some of them. Don't just watch what's right now. Watch older stuff. That also helps you think of the meta and why they played it that way. You could take a deck that was made during Pro Tour something, if that's an older format, reuse it in modern now, and it'd be bad because of the meta. Or it could be really good depending on what you're playing against in your local store. That's another thing you have to be aware about. Is just because it's a top tier deck does not mean you're going to win every time with it. Just because you're playing the top deck, even the pros lose. Even the top players have lost. And that is because, just because it's the top deck, doesn't mean you're always going to win. You're not always going to win, guys. Trust me. You're going to lose eventually. You may be really good and not lose often, but you're still going to lose it one time. I guarantee you, even if you become really good in a pro, you still will lose. And that is because we all make mistakes. And you guys got to realize this. You may make the perfect deck that is unstoppable and has crazy combo and can't be beat on turn 2. Channel Fireball. If you don't know what that is, look it up. It's a crazy combo, but still, people actually played it and lost with it. Usually against Channel Fireball, but still, you can still lose. So that's how it goes. You guys just realize you just gotta keep pushing through it. YouTube. I've talked about why it's hard. But right now it's really hard for me. I'm trying to keep the videos often and constant, but it's sometimes just really hard, and sometimes you just get really tired and you're just like, let me sit back for a minute, let me relax and not have to worry about YouTube. Let me just relax and do my own thing. I mean, we all gotta kick back away from the YouTube channel for a day or so just to let it all go, but then you always kind of get dragged back into it. And I don't mean like forcibly, you just kind of want to do it. And that means you're really devoted if you just want to go do it again. I mean, I see some YouTubers posting 3 videos a day. They're going to get tired out eventually, and then they're just going to not do it anymore. I've seen it where people have like a year full of content, like 3 videos a day, and then after that they just drop because they have no more ideas. And speaking of ideas, I'm working on the scripts of ideas and all that stuff, so hopefully I did not go this week because Friday none of my friends were going to go, and it's a new store. I mean, I've been to the store a few times, but I don't want to be going there without knowing anybody. So it was kind of a weird feeling, but I didn't go. And then Saturday, I had plans of work and other stuff. So that was my weekly vlog. So thank you guys. Don't forget to do that Q&A down below. So I'm going to do some more set reviews in just a minute, which probably will be put up before this. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.